Hello student, today we are going to study our next topic, that is lipid. What is lipid? Here the word comes from the Greek language, that is lipos or lipos means fat. Here lipids are the great importance to the body as the chief concentrated storage form of energy. Okay, in case of animals stored carbohydrate as a storage form of energy as well as lipid as a storage form of the energy, but lipid gives more energy than the carbohydrate. Besides this, the role of cellular structure and various other biochemical functions is also important in case of lipid. As such, lipids are the heterogeneous group of compounds, and therefore it is rather difficult to define them precisely. So, what are the lipids here? Lipids may be regarded as organic substances relatively insoluble in water and soluble in organic solvents such as alcohol, ether. They are related to the fatty acid and utilized by living cells. Unlike polysaccharide proteins and nucleic acid, lipids are not polymers. Okay, further lipids are mostly the small molecules. These are not polymers like polysaccharide or protein nucleic acid, but these are the simple molecules, simple small molecules. Now about the classification of lipid. Here lipids are broadly classified into simple, complex, derived and mucilaginous lipid, which are further subdivided into different groups. So here we are going to study the first type of lipid is simple lipid. Esters of fatty acids and alcohol. These are the esters of fatty acid and alcohol. Remember, there are two types, fats and oil and waxes. Fats and oil, these are the triacyl glycerol. They are esters of fatty acid with glycerol. Okay, fats and oil, these are the esters of fatty acid and glycerol. The difference between fat and oil is only physical. Oil is liquid while fat is solid at room temperature. This is the difference between oil and fat. Okay, the next one is in simple lipid, and the next type is waxes. Waxes are the esters of fatty acid, usually long chain, okay, with alcohol other than glycerol. Okay, so here what is present here, the in case of oil, fats and oil, fatty acid with glycerol is present. In case of waxes, fatty acid with alcohol is there. Okay, this is the difference between fats and oil and waxes. These alcohols may be aliphatic or alicyclic. Cetyl alcohol is the most commonly found in waxes. Okay, this type of alcohol is found in waxes. The next type of lipid is complex lipid, or we can call this compound lipid. There are esters of, these are the esters of fatty acid with alcohol, plus they containing additional groups such as phosphate, nitrogenous base, carbohydrate, protein, etc. And therefore these are further divided into some categories. The first one is phospholipid. As the name suggests, it has phosphoric acid and frequently the nitrogenous bases. In this, in addition to alcohol, fatty acid is there. In case of phospholipid, there are glycerophospholipid and sphingophospholipid. What is the difference between these two? In case of glycerophospholipid, the phospholipids contain glycerol and as alcohol. Okay, glycerol as the alcohol. An example is lecithin and cephalin. While in case of sphingophospholipid, sphingosine is the alcohol. Okay, which alcohol group is present, that is important. In case of sphingophospholipid, sphingosine is there. In case of glycerophospholipid, glycerol is there. Okay, as the name suggests. The example of sphingophospholipid is sphingomyelin. Glycolipid, as the name suggests, glycolipid. These are the lipid containing fatty acid and glycocarbohydrate. Okay, plus they have nitrogenous bases. These alcohols is a sphingosine. The alcohol, what is the alcohol content is there, that is sphingosine. Hence they are also called as glycosphingolipid. Okay, glyco means carbohydrate, sphingosine, that is alcohol, and this is the fatty acid content. Glycerol and phosphate are absent, remember this one, and the example are cerebrocytes and gangliocytes. Okay, here the next one is lipoprotein. Lipo and protein, the macromolecule complexes of lipid with protein. Okay, lipoprotein. Remember the, understand what is the meaning of the name. The last one is other complex lipids. The sulfolipids, aminolipids, lipopolysaccharides are among the other complex lipids. Other complex lipids are sulfolipids, aminolipids, lipopolysaccharide are the other complex lipids. Okay, the third type of the lipid is derived lipid. They are derivatives obtained on the hydrolysis of group 1 and group 2 lipid, which possess characteristics of lipid. Okay, when group 1 and group 2 lipids they get hydrolyzed, the derived lipids are formed. These include glycerol and other alcohols, fatty acid, mono and diglycerol, fats, soluble vitamins, steroid hormones, hydrocarbon and ketone bodies. Okay, so the next type, last type, is mucilaginous lipid. These include the large number of compounds possessing characteristics of lipid. Example, carotenoid, squalene, hydrocarbons such as pentacosane in beeswax. Pentacosane is present in beeswax and terpenes. Okay, these are the example of mucilaginous lipids. The neutral lipid is also there. What is mean by this? The lipid which are unchanged as referred to the neutral lipid. Okay, these are unchanged, so these are called as neutral. These are mono, di and triglycerol, cholesterol and cholesterol esters. Okay, these are the examples of neutral lipid. Now the function of lipid. Lipid perform several important functions. First one, they are the concentrated fuel reserve of the body. Okay, so they are the concentrated fuel reserve of the body, means they are the stored food material in case of animal, mainly in the form of triacyl glycerol. Lipids are the constituent of membrane structure. This is the main important thing. It is the main constituent of the cell membrane and regulate the membrane permeability. In case of membrane, phospholipid, where lipid are present in the form of phospholipid and cholesterol. Third function is they serve as a source of fat soluble vitamins. Fat soluble vitamins are stored in these lipids. The fat soluble vitamins are A, D, E, K. Okay. The fourth function is lipids are important as a cellular metabolic regulator. Steroid hormone or prostaglandin, these are the hormones. Okay. So these are very important Last function is lipid protects the internal organ and serve as an insulating material, gives shape and smooth appearance on the to the body. Okay, so in some animals it acts as an insulator. Okay, in polar bear or the organism which animals that live in the cold region, they get protected because they have large fatty content under their skin. It acts as an insulator. The organism will not lose its temperature and it get protected against the cold condition. In this way it acts as an insulating material. Okay, so this is about the lipids.